Yabona ke isilungu we. Okay. Siyahlupha.
Okay. So he didn't appear, but it's because he was not called.
If I may elaborate on that, we somehow have not exactly a voting system in the ad hoc, but somehow a weight balance agreement of who do we want there. Now, on that day, if you can add MKP numbers with DA and ANC, we would outnumber other parties and get General Khan in that seat. The only thing is that on that day, Honorable Malema was the most vocal in not getting General Khan to come there. But I can tell you, Uti, the other parties sided with him, with the EFF, not with him as I say, with EFF, in not allowing us to get Khan to come there.
Okay.
Yes.
So the upshot of all of that was that he was not called.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Meaning, I don't think Mbeki, Malema, Ratebe, Mbalula, Cameroon, Khan are going to help us with anything. You're going to leave a day or two to come and ask Khan. You know, they say you are a part of a faction. Are you part of a faction? He says, I don't know anything about any faction. And then what are you going to produce to prove that Khan is part of any faction? Except that he's being suspected and all of that. And then we are told when Kumalo comes, he will come with something concrete. Meaning, Mkwanas himself agrees that he's got nothing concrete on Khan. He says, no, someone else is going to come. Where we are seated now, with nothing on Khan, except that he went to do a good job. He got exonerated when he went to the DC, and then he continued.
That I'm going to be telling you exactly how I got to where I was, because there's many factors that contribute to us focusing on this name, specifically me. On the early dates of the ad hoc, we were given a chance where we submit names, and the procedure was you'll only submit, and never, most cases we didn't submit supporting statements on why are you calling this name, or evidence, should I say. But at some stage it changed to say you must then submit inkulumo thizeni ozoyifaka la to support this statement. At one stage,
Sorry, when you're talking about names, are you talking about names of people who you intended to be called as witnesses? Thank you.
Uma sihlela, Commissioner, ukubiza labantu, it was then on a list, if you can check, General Khan's name comes from EFF, where they had a list of 18 people. On that day, the list was submitted. We submitted names like our President Ramaphosa, and the other names were Padiachi, Moodley, and the likes. But as we continue, at that time, when the name General Khan was mentioned, I had not focused on him. I was busy on the other names mentioned by General Mkwanezi. But fast forward later, we have a meeting, a virtual meeting, it was on a Monday at night. Lana Corner, we discussed these names. Because of time that we were given and allocated to ad hoc, we then said, no, some of the names have to give us submission in writing. Some may come in and then we question and probe these things. But we had an argument when it comes to igama lakaBaba Khan on a later stage where now the other political parties, strongly so EFF by Honorable Malema, pushes back, there's no need to call igama laka General Khan. This is where now Honorable David Skosana is the one who mentions the name and gives supporting statements on why should the name be there. That drew my attention as well, because the level of business as members of MK in getting information, if I may divert a bit, Aslan, we in the ad hoc, we are not the same as here, where you've got resources, where you have investigators, security and all that. We don't have such. We only have few support staff, secretary and few evidence leaders, and that's it. So any matter you bring on the table, it's up to you as a member of parliament that you get information. So at that time, I was not privy to that information which Honorable David Skosana had, supported by Honorable Nomvalo. They punched the name. I was not supportive on that day. If you can check the video, I didn't even talk much on that day. But the level of embarrassment that was pushed on our name, nginsizwa babanyaxolisa. Nginsizwa impela kodwa mase shaywa siyabuka ukuthi ayibo siyashaywa la. Ngase ngibuka ukuthi no, I must look into this name. Why is there push specifically on this name? It's far less than the push Ubabu Ramaphosa, the president. So I said, okay, I understand with President Ramaphosa because ANC would want to protect their president. But why can't? Then later, that's when I started looking at this thing. Then I get reminded when Ubabu Skosana gives me the gist of this thing. No, let me remind you who's Khan. And I recall what I knew the name. I knew the things that were spoken about because I grew up in the SAPS. I worked there. So I would hear certain stuff about the certain generals, and what do they do. So that started there. Uma ubheka the so-called Indian cabal. Angiyaxolisa if ngizoba a bit racist. I hope I'm not sounding racist in part. The Indian cabal is then a subject ekhulunywa ngayo ukuthi iyona egcwele ku-IDEC. Now, I notice ukuthi there's a certain relationship when I connect dots between Johnson, Padiachi, Khan. I also put in Paul O'Sullivan there. Brian, is it McKnight? Not mine. Brian, sorry, please remind me.
I'm not sure who you refer to.
The commissioner that had an accident when he was drunk.
You are giving a terrible example, but I think you're probably talking about Mr. McBride.
So those people, Mangba Bega Mhlonishwa. Ngicela ukusebenzisa isimageba Mhlonishwa isilungu sibuye singidelay ngoba kumele ngisicabange before ngizosikhuluma, but I'll mix around. So ngaleso sikhathi leso when you check those people abaku IDEC, to me it gave me ukuthi it's a situation where for you to work at IDEC I have to have something on you so that you'll perform my duties. That's how it looked in my space. Why do I get there? Khan, General Khan, has an assault case, la bekasebenza khona, shaya officer, and the case is opened. That case of an assault, iyanyamalala for iskashana, disappears. That case disappears for a while.
Do you know when that was?
I can't recall the time, but it was early years. It's one of the rumors that we got that Khan shines or shy somebody then. Then there was that case.
Was that in the SAPS?
In the SAPS.
But
Hawks, if I'm not wrong, it was in the Hawks.
But you yourself have not seen that.
No, it's
document.
Remember,
already.
yes, as I say to you, in the artwork we fully rely on what you get and how you get your information. Mostly media and rumors, people talking. So those things, they need a person to sit here so that when you probe those questions, you then make facts into, is this allegation or facts? That's how we operate in our side. So when you look at that matter, it is when I'm asking Umama Winnie Mandela questions in the ad hoc.
What's her real name?
Mam Johnson. Sorry. I call it that. Mam Johnson, I ask a question, Yoguti. You are arresting Ubab Kumar, General Kumalo, for hiring a lady from BMW. But you yourself, you were in a panel that interviewed your husband. Her response was, I was not in the panel. When my husband entered, I recused myself. Now, in that panel, if there were 4, that means there will be 3 people in that panel. That's how she answers. She further says, I didn't know about this post. I asked Uguti Mam Johnson, it can't be true that you and your husband gets called for an interview and is not excited to tell his wife, today I got a call for an interview. It can't be. She says, no, Pella, that one, she told me, and then he told me, and then it ended there. I'm like, okay, let's look at this matter forward. The husband gets caught there. He gets the post. Now, if 4 people are scoring each, the other people who came for the interview were scored by these 4 people. Let's do maths. Let's say they give them all 10. These 4 people. And then husband comes, scored by 3 people. How can the numbers surpass the numbers by 4? Didn't make sense to me. Later, there was a certain heat on this issue with her. She was in the interview. Now, General Khan in the intelligence, Gubane post evulegayo. The post is for a brigadier. Indoda kaMam Johnson applies lapha kwa Khan and gets the job later. The case of assault, where Johnson was supposed to look at that case, apparently or allegedly, the case disappears. And there's no findings till today on that case, where Umam Johnson apparently should have been the one sitting on that case. That thing got my mind to focus there, number 1. We thought, okay, there's a problem here. Is this is under a situation, or maybe I'm seeing it wrong? Khan needs to come and answer. We left it there. Unfortunately,
sorry,
yes.
Is IDEC not concerned with corruption? What would its involvement have been
Yes.
in an assault case?
At that time, Nami, this thing bothered me. When this was happening, who was where and where what was happening, who was employed at where space. But it is alleged that Mam Johnson was the one who was supposed to be handling this case. That this assault case. I don't know, I can't get the facts now. What was the reason? I'm saying why I got interested in this thing, because of the allegations that are coming and the way they are coming. And then I look at the fact that I don't have those facts, mind. Let me further probe into this thing. Okay, what's the relationship?
Can I pause you there, Mr. Shongwe?
Yes.
You say that you posed questions to Ms. Andrea Johnson. She appeared before the ad hoc committee on the 6th of November 2025.
Yes.
And so, and are these the questions that you posed to her, including in relation to this assault case?
Due to time, in the ad hoc I only have 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, I must get answers and questions. So some of the questions I didn't ask, but the direction of the question was this.
Okay.
But as I'm answering here, I'm answering what prompted me to focus on Khan.
I see.
My focus was on IDEC and IPIT specifically, which it is now utilized as a weapon. Now, when that thing happened, which in Mam Johnson gets umsebenzi in the intelligence, it put a question mark game, which okay, I must get this story and fully understand it, which who was where, who was working where was Johnson leading, and how did it happen. But the question mark remained, which in Mam Johnson got umsebenzi, scored by 3 people. The other people who were interviewed didn't get the job, but they were scored by 4 people. Didn't make sense to me. Now, as you go forward, General Khumalo removes Khan temporarily from we position. What was that side? Just a second, Commissioner. Okay, as I'm looking, Commissioner, if I may, General Khumalo removes General Khan in the office with intelligence space from Mbuyisela back to the post which was supporting. Now, when that happens, Khan apparently didn't like that because that position is very powerful, the intelligence one. General Khumalo takes Umama Madlanga fakwa laphaya in that space where Khan was operating. Now, you come back for me to connect these dots that I'm still connecting. It's still active on my side. General Khumalo is charged right after these things happened, where Umadondo also is charged. To me, there was a focus with that intelligence space where General Khan is operating must not be lost to them. But who charges Khan, General Khan, is IDEC. Now, IDEC charges General Khumalo on HR-related matters. In some of those video clips where she was asked, I don't know where exactly, but she was asked, is this not an HR-related matter? She replies like a prophet. This is a state capture. In future, she sees it as a state capture in future. So it's like Khumalo is being arrested for something that's going to happen, not what is happening currently. That's how I viewed some of the interviews that I got to listen to in one stage. I wanted to ask that, but time was not allowing me. So I asked myself, if General Khumalo is arrested for the hiring of a person from externally, in SAPS there's what we call external post, where a person from outside can apply. For example, the acting commissioner, NASCOM, Commissioner Dimpan, is coming from outside of SAPS. She's not coming from the ranks of SAPS, from constable growing up. She got to Sevens and got a higher rank. She was an accountant, if I'm not wrong. Including EPA ka Mahmoud Dimpan, is coming from Parliament. She was a level 7. But now I think she's a brigadier, if I'm not wrong, in the SAPS. So I asked myself, why would IDEC be focused on arresting Khumalo and Madlanga? So again, that connects dots for me. This is a Khan-Johnson relationship again. One must look into this matter. Why kwenzeka lokhu? What is the reason for this arrest? It didn't make sense. So even today, when we ask Umamu Johnson for the referral of arresting General Khumalo, we ask this in ad hoc. Even today, we don't have it. Where was the referral? How was this referred to IDEC? What happened? We never got the gist of this matter, including today. And the arrest, again, it happened. It worries me, Commissioner, ukuthi singathatha indoda esiyithemba nge-600 million. Siyibophe bese siyikhulule siyibuyisele ekhaya sithi ayiyosebenza kulo 600 million. Ne-state security sale mash ekhona today mash and mash. We don't arrest this person. The reason is siyamdinga. So how important is this arrest? That's the question mark I still have. So as I said to the advocate, my statement, for me, it's still active and alive. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Because these are questions I'm going to ask in the, what you call, in the committee. Last one.
Sorry, Mr. Shongwe. I have no idea of IDEC processes, but you said you queried the issue of the referral. Yeah. How does that work? Does IDEC only take on matters that have been referred? Who does the referrals? If you could, if you do know, if you could explain that.
I know from what they said, Bona, in the ad hoc. When we were questioning Ubabu Paul Sullivan, With some of the matters that were probed with IDEC and IPIT, ziye kanjani. Then the referral issue comes there. There should be a referral. IDEC cannot on its own institute a case according to what they say. However, in the Khumalo saga, apparently there is no referral. It was then alleged which is going to be cooked up. But we never got it even today. We even sent letters to the committee. Now today we didn't get it. The reason for that was because we were told that the IDEC doesn't go after you without a referral.
On something else, we had Mr. O'Sullivan here yesterday.
Yes.
And he disputed the fact that General Khumalo's arrest related only to HR matters. If I'm not mistaken, I think he pinned it down on alleged outright corruption. And that was the basis for the arrest. What would your comment be on that?
Ngenhlanhla Commissioner ngumhlali wase South Africa. So information ngiyithola njengawo wonke umuntu wase South Africa. Thina sonke sazi ukuthi baba Khumalo uboshwele intombazana yase BMW. Abanye baze basola ukuthi intombi yakhe. Nayo leyo ndaba lesafuna ukuyibheka ukuthi is it true now ukuthi intombazana icasheke ngendlela enga right. But because now we are focused on this one, we wanted to know ukuthi kwenzakalani. Why abantu abenze the very same issues about Khumalo azenzile bangekho arrested, but this one is arrested. And yet again, he's so important in the country that siyakubopha siyakhulula sithi no, go work it with imali South Africa 600 million, go work with the businesses, because today if the match goes out of hand, Khumalo will be blamed. If the match is successfully guarded, Khumalo and the team will be given credit. So if that's the case, why then arrest this person, umbuyise, and trust them with such? It doesn't make sense still in a match. So it's one of those things. But I feel, hence I was, just to finish and close up this matter. Then there's this guy, Sonal. There's a lot of social media that was there, which IDEC hires a warrant, a person who has a warrant of
Can you
arrest.
just say the name again and where is he from?
Sonal. It was in IDEC.
Okay.
Yes. There is that on social media, it's all over before. Which IDEC hired this person who had a warrant of arrest. I later get to Guti, the docket was beat. The terms beat is glahleka docket, but ulahlama docket is be. So it was then termed Guti docket ilahlekile. That had the warrant. Now, this person is also at IDEC. There's this one, Padiachi, if you may remember. Sonal was the same guy, if I'm not wrong. There was a story of 65 guns that got lost at Pedi police station. And he recovered 2. He was deemed a hero for recovering these 2 guns in the dustbin. I still have questions. Naglahleki Pamezo 65, and then 63 is gone, 62 guns are found in the dustbin. What kind of a criminal will leave guns at dustbin? So lama phoyisa amaningi mphathwa ningilawo udlala ngathi masubuka le story lezi no. Media was utilized to flatter amagama webantwini ukuthi sibathembe sibathande. So the characters of the people there gave me a problem. While I was in the ad hoc, a businessman writes to ad hoc and also claimed that he also sent here as well, because at that time I was also CC'd on my emails. Toshan, who claims Oguchi, Padiachi bagged his phone and General Kele's phone, and many people. There was a case about that. But Padiachi on that case, this case disappears, somebody's arrested and takes the fall, nothing happens to Padiachi and Motley. This person writes to us in the ad hoc. This case doesn't get space in the ad hoc. So this person comes again with emails with Mr. Shongwe, you guys are also letting us down and stuff like that. So I get to call this guy and understand, in fact, what is the problem actually? Then it explains to me, no. This person was an IDEC. Is this person who was bugging our phones. And the bugging of phone includes General Khan in the intelligence. So then it worried me what General Khan is a business person, has a lot of money. His salary as SAPS in Ngani, you wouldn't stay there for unless you have the love of SAPS in that way. But when you look at this thing, you understand, okay, Khan is sitting in a strategical position where he gets to know what he it, to me, it's like an extortionist type of a way, where the allegations that also follows Babsibi, they keep dockets and then they say Fagimali in a protection way, kind of a way. So I saw Gutu Khan is strategically positioned in that space. And by Asebi Disana, there are 4 of them from the IDEC. That's how I got to then start searching these whole things. Unfortunately, because of that 10 minutes that I have in the ad hoc, I couldn't get to where we should go. And the fact that Khan then says, allegedly, in around our circular, Ebandwin, we won't see him in the ad hoc. He won't come in the ad hoc because he's got us in his pockets. Now, this is a township talk. That is what crossed my mind. No, not my name. So it happened in that space. I was worried. Okay, this General Khan, who happens to be in a strategical position and is so wealthy, Funane SAPS. If it's for the love of SAPS, why in the intelligence? Is he that good? So it's some of those things, yes.
So
Advocate Azim, good morning, Ms. Chong.
Babu Kumana.
You, in passing, mentioned that you have a history in the SAPS.
Yes.
I hope I heard you correctly. Can you
Yes.
just give us that history and that background?
Okay.
Were you ever a policeman?
I was employed SAPS in the college space. At one stage, there was a need for SAPS members to have driver's licenses by the parliament and all that. Then we were incubated to come there. Then later trained by SAPS to be instructors in the space of advanced driving and tactical driving. I was also trained there in the assessor and moderator, which I didn't finish because of time. But I then did my 2 diplomas of examiner of vehicle and examiner of driver's license, which the state has its own DLTC. So I was then deployed.
can you just give a time period? When was this?
From 2006 coming up. I left SAPS 2015.
Thank you.
So in the later years, there was a case where there were people who were employed by SAPS. Now that is us, who were instructors. Then there was an allegation that we cannot train SAPS members under the Police Act while we were not employed under the Police Act. So there was that case where we were then offered later ranks. But at that time, I decided to leave full-timing on politics and business, media space and politics.
So you were in the SAPS for about 10 years, 2006 until 2015,
more or so, yes,
2016.
more so. And I've worked in most of these colleges, Bishop Levis, Benoni, and Pretoria West of Bay.
And just out of interest, when you left, what was your rank, or was it before they gave you ranks?
The court had already pronounced on that we must get ranks from sergeant, warrants, going upwards. But that was the time I was exiting. So I never took rank. Yes.